If you deceive me like that again, Kelly, I won't fire you. I'll make you the personal concierge to the monsters you just pissed off." And those were the words he whispered before everything I believed about order and control shattered. I shouldn't be in this penthouse. Not at 2 a.m, not in this red silk robe. It felt perfectly reasonable when I grabbed it in my staff quarters, but it feels dangerously thin under the dim amber lights of Nico Marcello's private office. I just wanted to fix the problem. That's it. Fix the unauthorized elevator activity and get back to my protocols where numbers make sense and rules keep people safe. But now I'm frozen 3 steps inside the mahogany double doors, because he's here. Welcome back, my lovely friends and family. Now that you're relaxed and ready for a peaceful escape, make sure to subscribe and share where you're listening from. Tomorrow, we'll bring another soft, comforting story your way. For now, let's continue quietly with this one. Nico, standing at the floor-to-ceiling windows in a tuxedo, jacket off, sleeves rolled up revealing dark ink crawling up his forearms like secrets he never planned to share. Tie undone, hanging loose around his neck. He looks like he just walked out of a meeting that probably decided things I don't want to know about. He stops when he sees me. His eyes track down slowly, deliberately, from my rain-wet hair still dripping onto my shoulders, to the silk belt barely holding the robe together to the hem that hits mid-thigh, then back up. The air changes, gets thicker, like the storm outside has trapped itself inside this room. More. My name sounds different when he says it. Colder, sharper. I try to explain. I followed protocol. The elevator logs showed unauthorized movement patterns. I had to, but he cuts me off before I can finish. Elevator logs. He moves closer, not rushing, predatory, like he's circling prey that doesn't know it's already caught. You froze the key cards on 3 floors. Do you have any idea who you just locked inside those hallways? Heat floods my face. Unauthorized guests. People bypassing front desk check-in, which violates brand standard 7.3. They weren't registered. They weren't cleared. Brand standard 7.3. His voice is almost amused now, but there's something lethal underneath. He's in front of me, too close. Close enough that I catch cedar and rain and something darker, something that smells expensive and dangerous. Close enough to see that the tattoo peeking above his collar isn't random. It's a crest, a family symbol. Tell me more. What's the protocol for trapping the heads of the 5 families during a peace summit? My heart stops. What? Exactly. His hand comes up. I think he's reaching for my throat, but instead it lands on the wall beside my head, boxing me in against mahogany that probably has more security clearance than I do. You didn't trap party crashers. You trapped the most dangerous men in the country, men who were one locked elevator away from starting a war in my lobby. I can't breathe. The words won't come out right. I didn't know. I was just trying to protect the hotel. The movement patterns were irregular, and when I cross-referenced them with the reservation system, nothing matched. I thought someone on staff was sneaking people in for free, maybe taking bribes, and I just wanted to... Trying to what? His other hand comes up, 2 fingers catching my chin, tilting my face up, forcing me to meet eyes so dark they look black in this light. Do your job, follow the rules, be the perfect little director who spots patterns no one else sees. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause problems. I just saw the data and I... Didn't mean what? The pad of his thumb brushes along my jaw, and I feel that single touch everywhere. Didn't mean to prove you're smarter than my entire security team. Didn't mean to notice the ghosts in my system. Didn't mean to make yourself dangerous. I'm not dangerous. My voice comes out smaller than I want. I'm the director of brand standards. I organize schedules and audit guest feedback and make sure linens get changed on time. I create spreadsheets. I enforce protocols. That's not dangerous. That's just... Exactly. His jaw clenches, and I watch that muscle tick. 25 years old. Obsessed with order. Thinks her CEO is a reckless playboy who treats the hotel like a playground. He leans closer. His breath is warm against my temple. You see chaos where everyone else sees business as usual. That makes you the most dangerous person in this building. I try to defend myself, but the words stick in my throat. I didn't do anything wrong. I was following procedure. Every protocol says that unauthorized elevator activity should be investigated, and if there's a security risk, the system should be locked down until... Exactly the problem. He's so close now I can feel the words against my skin. You didn't do anything except exist in my world and see too much. You noticed what you weren't supposed to notice. And now I can't let you go back to counting towels and auditing room service tickets like nothing happened. What are you saying? I'm saying you're promoted. He drops his hands but doesn't step back. Doesn't give me room to breathe. You're not the director of brand standards anymore, Kelly. You're the gatekeeper. You're going to track every movement in this hotel. Every guest. Every corridor. Every elevator. You're going to make sure the civilians never cross paths with the men you just locked in the dark. I don't want a promotion. I like my job. I like my protocols. I don't wanna. You don't get to want. His voice drops to that terrifying whisper again. The men you trapped, they know your name now. They know you're the reason they spent 20 minutes locked in a hallway without water, without air, without knowing if I'd sent them there to die. So no, Kelly, you don't get to go back to your protocols. You work for me now, not the hotel. Me, I should argue. Should tell him he can't just reassign me, that I have a contract, that this isn't in my job description. But all I can manage is, and if I refuse, the smile that crosses his face is brief and lethal. Then I'll let you explain to them why you thought freezing the system was a good idea. He steps back finally, creates space I should want but somehow hate. Go back to your quarters. More. Not a suggestion. An order. What happens in the morning? His eyes lock on mine. For just a second, the armor cracks, and I see something underneath. Something that looks like exhaustion, mixed with dark satisfaction. In the morning, you learn how to manage monsters. He picks up the master tablet from his desk. The one I used to execute the keycard freeze, holds it out to me, and if you ever deceive me like that again, if you ever lock down my system without permission, if you ever make another move without consulting me first. He doesn't finish, just looks at me like I'm an equation he hasn't solved yet. I don't know if I'll keep being your boss, or something much, much worse. Then he's gone. Walking out of his own office, leaving me standing there in red silk and confusion, holding the tablet that just destroyed my entire understanding of this hotel. I go, but I feel his eyes on me the entire walk back down the service corridor. And when I close the door to my staff quarters and lean against it, heart hammering, uniform hanging pressed and perfect on the back of the door like it always is, one thought consumes me. What just happened? I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see him, feel the ghost of his fingers on my chin, hear his voice promising things that sounded like threats but felt like something else entirely. Something I don't have a protocol for. Something that doesn't fit in any of my carefully organized spreadsheets. And somewhere in the floors above me, the 5 families are still awake. Still trapped in hallways I locked. Still knowing my name. Tomorrow, I'll learn what it means to be the gatekeeper. But tonight, in the dark of my perfectly organized room with my color-coded binders and laminated checklists, I realize something terrifying. I spent my entire life building walls between chaos and order, creating systems to keep the messy, unpredictable world at bay. But Nico Marcello just kicked down every single one of those walls. And the worst part? The part that keeps me awake with my heart racing and my skin still tingling where he touched my jaw? I think I wanted him to. 3 hours of staring at the ceiling. 3 hours of replaying his voice. 3 hours until my alarm goes off and I have to face whatever being the gatekeeper means. But sleep won't come, so I do what I always do when my mind won't settle. I reach for my protocols binder, the one with the laminated tabs and color-coded sections, the one that's kept me sane since I was 16 years old. Watching my father gamble away our rent money on college football games he swore were sure things. Order saved me then. Rules, structure, the certainty that if you follow the right steps, you get predictable outcomes. No chaos, no surprises, no coming home to find the electricity shut off because Dad put the payment on a horse that came in fourth. That's why I became the director of brand standards. That's why I obsess over every detail, every protocol, every number in every spreadsheet, because when everything has a rule, nothing can hurt you. And Nico Marcello? He was the opposite of everything I believed in. The absentee CEO who showed up at the hotel maybe twice a month, always in a tuxedo, always with a different woman on his arm, always treating the entire operation like his personal playground. He'd override reservations to give his friends penthouse suites. He'd shut down the restaurant for private parties without consulting the booking team. He'd disappear for weeks, and then show up demanding reports nobody had time to prepare. I hated him, hated the chaos he represented, hated that he could break every rule I worked so hard to maintain and nobody ever told him no. So when I noticed the pattern 3 days ago, I felt vindicated. Finally, proof that his carelessness was causing actual damage. The elevator logs showed movement to floors 28 through 30 every night between midnight and 2 a.m. But when I cross-referenced those movements with the reservation system, nothing matched. No guests checked into those floors, no room service orders, no housekeeping schedules, just phantom bookings that appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Someone was exploiting the system, probably a night manager taking bribes to sneak people into empty luxury suites, probably using Nico's absent leadership to run their own side business, and I was going to stop it. I spent 2 days documenting every irregularity, built a case file, created a presentation with charts and graphs and undeniable evidence. Then tonight, when I saw those elevators moving again, I didn't hesitate. I executed the keycard freeze, watched the system lock down floor by floor, felt that perfect satisfaction of seeing my protocols work exactly as designed. I thought I was saving the hotel, thought I was protecting the company from internal corruption, thought I was proving that rules matter. I was so wrong. Now, standing in my staff quarters at 2:30 in the morning, still wearing this red silk robe that suddenly feels like evidence of how naive I am, I finally understand. Those weren't phantom bookings. Those were ghost meetings. And I just trapped the men Nico was trying to keep invisible. My phone buzzes. A message from an unknown number. Report to penthouse, 6 a.m. Bring the tablet. Don't be late. M. Marcelo. As if I could forget who owns me now. I don't sleep, can't. So I dress in my most severe suit. Black, pressed, professional, armor. Pull my hair back so tight it hurts. If I'm walking into the underworld, I'm doing it looking like someone who belongs in a boardroom, not a battlefield. At 5:45, I take the service elevator up. The tablet feels like a weapon in my hands. The same device I used to lock down his empire is now apparently my tool to manage it. The penthouse doors open before I can knock. Nico's there, looking like he hasn't slept either. Still in last night's tuxedo pants, but with a fresh white shirt unbuttoned at the collar, hair damp from a shower. The tattoo on his neck is fully visible now, a crown wrapped in thorns. It suits him. "You're early," he says, not impressed, just observing. "You said 6. I said don't be late. You could have shown up at 6. He steps aside, lets me in. "But you showed up early because you want to prove you can follow instructions, that you're not actually chaos wrapped in spreadsheets." He's right, but I won't give him the satisfaction. "You told me to bring the tablet." "I did." He walks to the windows, looks out at the city waking up below us. "The men you locked in last night. They're downstairs, in the Rosa ballroom. Waiting." My stomach drops. "Waiting for what?" "For you to let them out properly." He turns, looks at me with something that might be amusement or might be a test. "You locked them in with a system override, which means the doors won't open until you manually release each floor, personally, while they watch. You want me to face them. I want them to see that you're not a threat, that you're an asset." He picks up a coffee cup from his desk, takes a slow sip. "I want them to believe that freezing them in was intentional. A security test. My idea, and that you executed it flawlessly. That's a lie. That's strategy." He sets the cup down, walks toward me. "You wanted order, Kelly. You wanted rules and protocols and predictable outcomes. This is the new protocol. When I need ghosts to stay ghosts, you make them invisible. When I need them to appear, you unlock the doors. And when something goes wrong, you stand beside me and we spin it into something that looks like control." He's close now. Close enough that I smell coffee and cedar and the same dangerous scent from last night. "You're the gatekeeper now. That means you hold the keys to every door in my empire. Which means those men downstairs need to respect you as much as they respect me." His voice drops lower. "Or they'll see you as a weakness they can exploit." I meet his eyes. "And if they already see me as the woman who locked them in the dark, then we make them see you as the woman smart enough to trap them and bold enough to let them out." He hands me the tablet. His fingers brush mine, just for a second, but I feel it everywhere. "Let's go introduce you to your new guests." The Rosa ballroom is silent when we enter. Not empty silent. Dangerous silent. The kind of quiet that comes from men who've learned that speaking first is a weakness. They're seated around the mahogany conference table like kings at a summit. 5 men. All in suits that cost more than most people's cars. All watching me like I'm a problem they haven't decided how to solve yet. Nico doesn't introduce me. Doesn't explain. He just walks to the head of the table and I follow, tablet clutched against my chest like a shield. "Gentlemen," he says, voice smooth as expensive whiskey. "I believe you've already met my new director of security. Miss Moore executed last night's containment protocol flawlessly. The system is now back online. Director of security, not gatekeeper, not the woman who accidentally trapped you." He's rewriting history in real time and daring them to challenge it. One of the men, silver-haired with eyes like cold steel, leans back in his chair. Containment protocol. Is that what we're calling it? That's exactly what we're calling it, Nico says without missing a beat. When unverified movement patterns trigger security alerts, the system locks down automatically. Miss Moore was simply doing her job. He looks at me. Wasn't that right, Miss Moore? It's a test. And I understand now that everything with Nico is a test. So I step forward, chin up, and meet the silver-haired man's gaze. The elevator logs showed irregular activity across 3 floors. Per protocol, I initiated a temporary lockdown until verification could be completed. The system has been restored. I tap the tablet. All floors are now accessible with proper authorization. The man studies me for a long moment. Then something shifts in his expression. Respect, maybe. Or at least acknowledgement that I'm not trembling. Thorough, he finally says. Then to Nico, I like her better than the last one. And just like that, I'm dismissed. Accepted. Nico handles the rest with the kind of social precision that makes me realize I've been underestimating him all along. He's not careless. He's calculated. Every careless gesture was camouflage for what he really is. A man who can turn a catastrophe into a power play before anyone realizes they've been maneuvered. We leave 20 minutes later. The men disperse through different exits, different elevators. Ghosts, disappearing back into the city. Nico doesn't speak until we're back in the penthouse. You did well. I lied. You adapted. He pours himself coffee from the pot that's always somehow fresh. There's a difference. You work for me now, Kelly. That means we don't apologize for protecting this hotel. We just make sure it looks intentional. And that's how it starts. My new life as the gatekeeper. I move my things into a smaller office attached to the penthouse. Not by choice. Nico says if I'm managing ghost logistics, I need to be where he is. The proximity is suffocating. I can hear him on phone calls through the wall. Hear the ice clink in his whiskey glass at night. Hear the silence when he stands at those massive windows staring at the city like he's Atlas holding the weight of empires. He tests me constantly. Gives me impossible logistics problems. Move this cargo from the loading dock to floor 15 without any guests seeing. Cargo. He means people. Men who can't be seen walking through the lobby. I use the laundry chutes and service elevators. Map out timing windows when housekeeping rotations create blind spots in the security cameras. He gives me 30 minutes. I do it in 20. 3 cars arriving at the same time. Different families. They can't see each other. Valet is short-staffed. I reroute 2 through the underground garage and delay the 3rd with a fake traffic alert. He watches me work and says nothing, but I catch him almost smiling. Almost. 2 weeks into this new routine, I notice something in the utility reports. High power usage in sublevel basement 3. Except there is no sublevel 3 on any blueprint I've ever seen. I pull up the schematics. The basement only goes to level 2, but the electrical grid shows power flowing to a space that shouldn't exist. Massive power. The kind of draw you'd see from a server farm or industrial equipment. My first thought is drugs. A processing lab hidden beneath the hotel where Nico runs his operation. My second thought is that I should tell him. But my third thought, the one that sounds like my father's voice telling me that rules are for people too weak to break them, tells me to investigate first. Prove I'm more than just a gatekeeper. Prove I can protect this hotel from whatever illegal operation is draining power beneath our feet. I wait until Nico leaves for a meeting. Take the service elevator down to basement 2. Find the maintenance corridor that shouldn't lead anywhere. There's a door at the end. Industrial. Sealed with a biometric lock I override using the master tablet. It takes 3 tries and probably triggers 15 alarms, but the door clicks open. I'm expecting chemicals, equipment, maybe armed guards. Instead, I find a hospital, not a makeshift setup. A real trauma center. Surgical lights. Monitors beeping softly. Medical equipment that looks more advanced than what I've seen in actual emergency rooms. And in the center of it all, sitting on a chair beside a hospital bed, is Nico. He's holding the hand of a boy who can't be more than 18. The kid's chest is wrapped in bandages. His face is pale. And Nico is talking to him quietly, voice softer than I've ever heard it. You did good, Marcus. You kept your head. Your mom would be proud. The boy's eyes flutter. He's heavily medicated, barely conscious. But he squeezes Nico's hand like it's the only thing tethering him to the world. I stand frozen in the doorway, tablet still in my hands. This isn't a drug lab. This is a sanctuary. And I almost destroyed it. Nico looks up. Sees me. The softness in his expression vanishes. replaced by something colder. He carefully releases the boy's hand, stands, walks toward me with measured steps. When he reaches me, he takes the tablet from my hands. "Where were you going, Kelly?" I saw the power usage. I thought, "You thought what? That I was running drugs beneath the hotel? That I needed you to save me from myself?" His voice is quiet, but there's steel underneath. "You were about to cut the power, weren't you?" I can't lie. Not when he's looking at me like that. Yes, that boy is 18 years old. He took 2 bullets, protecting his little sister from a hit meant for his father. If he goes to a hospital, the police arrest him the moment he's stable. If I cut him loose, the rival family finishes what they started. Nico steps closer. "And you were going to kill him to follow a rule book." The words hit like a physical blow. I didn't know. Exactly the problem. He hands the tablet back to me. "You see chaos, Kelly. You see power usage that doesn't fit your perfect spreadsheets. And your first instinct is to shut it down, to force it back into order. Even if that order kills people." I look past him at the boy in the bed, at the machines keeping him alive, at the sanctuary Nico built beneath a hotel to save men who have nowhere else to go. "I'm sorry." Sorry doesn't resurrect the dead. But his voice has lost some of its edge. He runs a hand through his hair, suddenly looks exhausted. "This is what you signed up for when you became the gatekeeper. This is the chaos you're supposed to protect, not destroy. Then teach me." The words come out before I can stop them. "Stop testing me and just tell me what you need." He studies me for a long moment. Then something shifts. A decision made. "Tomorrow," he says. "Tomorrow I show you everything." Tomorrow becomes 3 weeks of education I never asked for. Nico shows me the hotel beneath the hotel. The network of service corridors that connect every floor like veins in a body. The panic rooms disguised as storage closets. The emergency exits that lead to underground garages where cars wait with engines running. He teaches me codes, signals, the difference between a guest who needs privacy and a ghost who needs protection. I learn that the hotel isn't just a building, it's a sanctuary, and every rule I thought existed to create order actually exists to hide chaos. We fall into a rhythm. He gives orders. I execute them. We don't talk about the medical wing. Don't talk about how I almost killed that boy. But it's there between us. A shared understanding that I'm not innocent anymore. That I've seen too much to go back to counting linens and auditing room service. Some nights we work until 3 a.m. Other nights he dismisses me early and I hear him pacing in his office through the wall. Tonight it's raining. The kind of storm that makes the windows shake and the city lights blur into watercolor streaks. I'm reviewing tomorrow's ghost schedule when Nico appears in my doorway. He looks exhausted, hair messy like he's been running his hands through it. Tie gone, shirt unbuttoned at the collar. "Come have a drink with me," he says. Not a request, but not quite an order either. Something in between. I follow him to the main office. He pours 2 glasses of whiskey, hands me one. The ice clinks against crystal. We stand at the windows watching the storm. Don't speak. Just exist in the same space. It's the most peaceful I've felt in weeks. Finally, he breaks the silence. "You're good at this. Better than I expected. Managing ghosts? Seeing patterns." He takes a slow sip. "Most people look at chaos and just see noise. You look at chaos and see the architecture underneath, the structure holding it together. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. But there's something almost soft in his voice, the armor cracking just slightly. You remind me that order and chaos aren't opposites. They're partners. You can't have one without the other." I want to ask what he means. Want to ask why he sounds so tired. But before I can, my auditor brain does what it always does. Spots an irregularity. I've been reviewing the hotel's permanent bookings file. There's one suite that's been on the books for 10 years. Room 1010. Never accessed. Never cleaned. Never audited. Just sitting there generating thousands in lost revenue every month. It's been driving me insane. Room 1010. I say before I can stop myself. Why is it permanently booked? What's in there? Nico goes still. Nothing. Nothing doesn't cost $10,000 a month. Kelly. His voice has a warning in it. Leave it alone. But I can't. The need to understand, to organize, to make sense of waste, is too strong. So later, after he dismisses me, after the penthouse goes quiet, I do what I shouldn't. I take the master tablet and override the lock on room 1010. The door clicks open. I expect bodies. Expect storage for something illegal. Expect anything except what I find. A nursery, perfectly preserved, dust-free, like someone was just here yesterday. A white crib against the wall. Stuffed animals arranged on shelves. A rocking chair by the window. Children's books stacked on a small table. The walls are painted soft blue with hand-painted clouds. And in the corner, a woman's silk robe hanging on a hook. The air smells like lavender and old memories. I hear footsteps behind me. Turn. Nico is standing in the doorway. He doesn't look angry. He looks broken, like I just ripped open a wound that never healed. I told you to leave it alone. I didn't know. My voice comes out as a whisper. Nico. I didn't. Her name was Sophia. He steps into the room. Doesn't look at me. Looks at the crib. She was 26. Our daughter was 3 months old. Elena. His voice cracks on the name. They stayed here when I had late meetings. Sophia liked the view. Said it felt safe. Like nothing bad could happen 40 floors above the city. I can't breathe. Can't move. Just watch him touch the robe hanging on the hook. They were supposed to go home that night, but there was a hit ordered. Not on me. On a rival. But the shooter got the wrong car. Sophia's driver looked like the target's driver. Same black sedan. Same route. He finally looks at me. They died in the lobby. 10 feet from the front desk. 10 feet from safety. Tears burn my eyes. Nico. I keep this room perfect because it's the last place they were happy. The last place where my life made sense. He walks to the window. Stares at the rain. I live in this hotel because I can't leave them. Can't go home to an empty house. Can't sleep in a bed where she used to sleep. So I stay here. Keep their room locked. Keep the hotel perfect. Because if everything is controlled, if every rule is followed, maybe nothing else will break. I'm crying now. For him. For the woman and child who died in a war they didn't ask to be part of. For the man who builds sanctuaries to save strangers because he couldn't save his own family. I cross the room. Touch his arm. Just my hand on his forearm. But he freezes like I've electrocuted him. I'm sorry, I whisper. I'm so sorry. He turns, looks at my hand on his arm, then at my face. You and I, he says quietly, we're the same. We keep the hotel perfect because the world outside is messy. We follow rules because chaos took everything from us. We organize because if we stop, we'll fall apart. Nico. He reaches up, cups my face with his hand. His palm is warm against my cheek. I shouldn't want this. Shouldn't want you. You're supposed to be my gatekeeper. My employee. The woman who manages my ghosts. His thumb brushes away a tear. But you're the first person who's looked at my chaos and didn't run. He leans closer. So close I can feel his breath against my lips. So close that I stop breathing. Stop thinking. Just feel the heat of him and the rain against the windows and the ghost of a family that used to exist in this room. Then he pulls back, drops his hand, steps away. Get out, Kelly, before I forget why I shouldn't touch you. I don't go back. I stand in that nursery for 10 more seconds after he leaves, staring at the rocking chair and the hand-painted clouds and feeling something crack open inside my chest that I don't know how to close. Then I walk out, lock the door behind me, return to my small office attached to the penthouse and pull out every protocol binder I own. If I can't control my feelings, I can at least control my work. For 3 days I avoid him. Not hard when you know his schedule better than he does. I audit inventory reports, review maintenance logs, reorganize the filing system that doesn't need reorganizing. Anything to keep my hands busy and my mind from replaying the feeling of his palm against my cheek. The way he looked at me like I was something precious and dangerous at the same time. The almost kiss that would have destroyed every professional boundary I've ever built. On the 4th day, I find something that makes my auditor brain scream. The laundry facility is burning linens. Not old, damaged linens. Brand new Egyptian cotton sheets that cost hundreds per set. I watch through the security camera feed as night staff load perfectly good bedding into the industrial incinerator. It's wasteful. Insane. Everything I've spent my career fighting against. So I go down there myself, march into the basement laundry facility at 11 p.m., and find 2 night staff standing by the incinerator. Stop, I say. Not asking. Ordering. What are you doing? They exchange glances. The younger one speaks. Manager's orders, Miss Moore. Contaminated linens go straight to incineration. Contaminated with what? These are from the premium suites. They should be salvageable. I move toward the incinerator. The older worker steps in front of me. Miss Moore, you really shouldn't, but I'm already reaching past him. pulling the sheets out of the flames before they catch. The fabric is heavy, damp. When I spread them out on the concrete floor, I see why. Blood, not spots, not stains, soaked. Like someone bled out on these sheets and whoever cleaned the room just bundled everything up and sent it to be destroyed. My stomach turns. What happened? Neither of them answers. They're both staring past me at the doorway. I turn. A man is standing there. Younger than Nico, but with the same dark eyes, the same dangerous elegance. He's holding his left arm at an odd angle, bandaged under his shirt. "You must be the famous Kelly Moore," he says, voice smooth but tired. "My brother talks about you constantly. Who are you?" "Luca Marcello." He walks forward, looks at the blood-soaked sheets I'm holding. "And those are mine. From 3 nights ago when someone decided to send a message by putting 2 bullets in my shoulder. The pieces clicked together too fast. Failed hit. Medical wing. DNA evidence. These need to be destroyed." "Yes," he tilts his head. "But you pulled them out. Which means if the police raid this facility in the next 10 minutes, they'll have exactly what they need to connect me to a shooting that officially never happened. I drop the sheets like they're burning me. I didn't know. I thought it was waste. You thought you were saving the hotel money." Nico's voice cuts through the room. He's standing in the doorway now, and the look on his face makes my blood run cold. Not anger, disappointment, which is somehow worse. He walks past me to his brother. "Go. Now. I'll handle this." Luca leaves. The night staff scatter. And then it's just me and Nico and blood-soaked linens sitting on concrete like evidence of how badly I keep failing at this. "I'm sorry," I say. My voice cracks. "I'm sorry I checked the laundry. I'm sorry I pulled the sheets. I'm sorry I can't stop trying to fix things that don't need fixing." The words pour out faster now. Panic, making me confess everything. "I'm sorry I looked at your private laptop logs last week when you left it open on your desk. I know I shouldn't have snooped, but I couldn't help it, and I know you're going to fire me now and—" "Kelly," he says my name quietly. Stops my spiral. "I know you looked at my laptop. I know. I'm sorry. I'll leave. I left it open on purpose." He steps closer. "I wanted you to see, wanted you to know who I really am, what I really do, because I was too much of a coward to just tell you." His voice drops lower. "Because if you knew and stayed, that would mean something, and I wasn't ready for what that meant." I stare at him. "You wanted me to snoop? I wanted you to choose." He's close now, close enough that I can see the exhaustion in his eyes. "Choose whether you could live with this, with me, with the blood-soaked sheets and the medical wings and the ghosts that never leave." He reaches out, tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers linger against my neck. "I keep pushing you away because you deserve better than this life. But you keep staying. Keep trying to save the hotel even when it means risking yourself." "I'm not trying to save the hotel." The truth comes out before I can stop it. "I'm trying to save you." Something shifts in his expression. The armor he wears cracks completely. "Kelly, I know you think you're protecting me by keeping distance, by giving orders and maintaining boundaries, but I've seen your trauma center. I've seen your daughter's nursery. I've seen the man you are when no one's watching." I step closer, close enough that I'm the one invading his space now. "I'm not staying because you give me orders. I'm staying because you showed me that chaos isn't the enemy. It's just another form of order. One that needs someone who understands it." He looks at me like I'm solving an equation he's been working on for years. Then his hand slides from my neck to cup my face. Both hands now, holding me like I'm something fragile. "You're the most dangerous woman I've ever met," he whispers. "Not because you're violent, because you see me, actually see me, and you're still here." "I'm still here," I repeat. This time when he leans in, he doesn't pull back. His lips meet mine and everything else disappears. The blood-soaked sheets, the laundry facility, the rules I've built my entire life around. There's only his hands cradling my face and his mouth against mine, gentle at first, then deeper, like he's been starving for this and finally gave himself permission to taste. I grab his shirt, pull him closer, feel the heat of him through the fabric, and think absurdly that this is what chaos feels like. Uncontrolled, unpredictable, perfect. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. He rests his forehead against mine. "This changes everything," he whispers. "I know. I can't promise you safe. Can't promise you normal. I don't want safe. I want real." I meet his eyes. "I want you." He kisses me again, slower this time, like he's memorizing the shape of my mouth. Then he pulls back, takes my hand. Come upstairs. We don't talk about what happens next. Don't need to. We just go to the penthouse and he pours us both whiskey, and we sit on the leather sofa talking until 3 a.m. about everything except work. He tells me about Sophia, about how they met at a charity gala, and she called him out for being arrogant. About Elena's laugh. I tell him about my father. About the night I found him, passed out at the kitchen table with eviction notices spread around him like losing lottery tickets. We trade scars, compare damage, find that our broken pieces fit together in ways that make sense. For 2 weeks we exist in a bubble. We work together during the day. He gives orders. I execute them. But at night, he orders dinner to the penthouse, makes me eat when I forget, tells me to sleep when I'm still reviewing schedules at midnight. It's domestic in a way I never expected. He's not just the keeper of the peace. He's a man who knows how I take my coffee and reminds me to take breaks and looks at me like I'm the answer to a question he's been asking for years. Then I find the bug. It's hidden behind my desk lamp. A tiny listening device no bigger than a button. My first thought is Nico, testing me again, making sure I'm loyal. But when I trace the signal using the hotel's security system, it doesn't lead to his office. It leads to my phone. Specifically, to an app I don't remember downloading. An app that's been recording every conversation in my office for the past 3 weeks and sending it to an encrypted server. My hands shake as I dig deeper into the metadata. The app was installed remotely 4 weeks ago, right after I reconnected with David, my ex-boyfriend from college, the one who reached out on social media saying he missed me, the one I had coffee with twice because it felt nice to talk to someone from before my life became managing ghosts and falling for a man who lives in a hotel to avoid his grief. I pull up David's profile, run his photo through the hotel's facial recognition system. It flags him immediately. Federal database, David Chen, Special Agent, FBI Organized Crime Division. The coffee wasn't coincidence. The reconnection wasn't nostalgia. He used me, planted the bug through my phone to record Nico, to build a case, and I handed him access to everything because I was too stupid to see that my romantic past was a lie. I'm still staring at my phone when I hear screaming in the hallway. I run out. Security guards are dragging a woman toward the service elevator. She's fighting them, clawing, yelling for help. Every instinct screams victim. Trafficking, kidnapping. I grab my phone to call the police. Nico's hand closes over mine. Don't. They're hurting her. We have to. That's not a victim, Kelly. That's Rachel Martinez. Protected witness. Testified against her husband's cartel. If you call the police, the corrupt ones on his payroll will trace the call. They'll find her, and she'll be dead before morning. I stare at the woman being moved to safety, at Nico's hand still covering mine, at my phone with its hidden recording app feeding information to a federal agent who never loved me. I'm the leak, I whisper. David, my ex, he's FBI. He planted surveillance on my phone. He's been recording everything. Nico goes very still. How long? 3 weeks. Every conversation, every meeting, everything I've seen since we kissed, since I became more than his gatekeeper, since I stopped being an employee and became the woman who knows where all his bodies are buried. Kelly, I have to leave. The words hurt coming out. If I stay, I'm the weapon they use against you. I'm the evidence they need. I'm mine. He pulls me against him. You're mine. And I don't let go of what's mine, but I can already see it. The way this ends. Federal agents kicking down doors. Nico in handcuffs. Everything he's built destroyed because I was too lonely and too stupid to see that my past came back to weaponize my present. I pull away from him. I can't be the reason you lose everything. Then help me fight. His voice is steel wrapped in desperation. Don't run. Stand with me. We'll figure this out. But I'm already walking toward my office. Already making plans to disappear. Because staying means risking him. And I've learned that love isn't about holding on. Sometimes it's about letting go before you destroy what you love most. I'm standing in my office at 4 a.m, staring at a resignation letter I've rewritten 6 times. Each version says the same thing in different words. I'm leaving. I'm the danger. I'm the crack in your armor that will let them destroy you. My hands won't stop shaking. The words blur on the screen. I think about his hands on my face. The way he said mine like it was a vow. The way I felt safe for the first time in my life, even though I was standing in the center of chaos. But safe is an illusion. David proved that. The bug in my office proved that. The federal case building against Nico because I was too blind to see I was being used proves that. So I'll do what I should have done weeks ago. I'll leave before I destroy him completely. I'm printing the letter when the alarms start screaming. Not fire alarms, security alarms. The kind that means someone breached the perimeter in a way that can't be explained away as a false trigger or a drunk guest. I grab the tablet. Pull up the security feeds. My blood turns to ice. 6 heat signatures moving through the ventilation system. Professional, coordinated, heading directly toward the penthouse. The vents. The secure transport routes Nico uses to move ghosts without being seen. Someone told them exactly how to get in. And then I remember. Yesterday morning, I scheduled maintenance, routine ventilation cleaning. I cleared the ducts for 48 hours to give the crew access. Standard protocol. Except I just gave assassins a highway straight to Nico's door. I run. Don't think. Just move. The penthouse doors are already sealed when I burst through. Nico's at his desk. He's got a gun in his hand and that terrifying calm on his face that means he's already accepted he might die tonight. Luca's there too. Wounded arm and all. 2 other men I recognize from the 5 families. They're not running. They're positioning themselves like soldiers preparing for a last stand. Kelly, get out. Nico's voice is cold. Commander mode. Service elevator. Go to the garage. There's a car waiting with keys in the ignition. Drive until you hit the state line and don't look back. No. I'm already pulling up the building management system on my tablet. My fingers are flying across the screen faster than my brain can process what I'm doing. They're in the vents. 6 of them. I cleared the ducts for maintenance. I gave them access. His face goes white. Not with fear. With understanding. I'm the reason they're here. Me and my protocols and my need to follow every rule perfectly. Kelly, I cleared them. I can close them. My voice doesn't sound like mine anymore. It sounds like someone who's already decided what happens next. I pull up the fire suppression system. The smart building controls that I've spent weeks learning inside and out. The ventilation grid lights up on my screen like a battlefield map. 6 heat signatures moving through ducts that connect every floor like arteries. They're 30 seconds from the penthouse access point. Nico's beside me now, looking at my screen. The fire shutters. Exactly. I'm already inputting commands. Override codes. Emergency protocols that are supposed to require 3 levels of authorization. But I'm the gatekeeper. I have all 3 levels. They're steel, 2 inches thick, designed to seal off sections during a fire to prevent smoke spread. If I trigger them now, you'll trap them inside the ducts. Luca's watching me with something that looks like respect or horror. Maybe both. They'll suffocate. Or they'll kill Nico. I don't look at him when I say it. Can't. Because if I look at him, I'll hesitate. And hesitation gets him killed. I press execute. The sound is deafening. Heavy steel shutters slamming down inside the walls. 6 sections. 6 trapdoors closing simultaneously. The building shudders like something alive. On my screen, the heat signatures stop moving. They're boxed in, separated, no way forward, no way back. Just metal coffins inside the walls. Silence. Except for my breathing and the alarm still screaming and the sound of my heart trying to break through my ribs. Nico's staring at me. Not at the screen. At me, like he's seeing me for the first time. Or maybe like he's seeing what I'm capable of, and doesn't know if he should be grateful or terrified. You didn't just manage the hotel, Kelly. His voice is rough, raw. You weaponized it. I'm still holding the tablet. Still watching those heat signatures trapped in the walls. Still processing that I just turned a building into a cage. I learned from you. You taught me that chaos and order aren't enemies. They're tools. And I just used every tool you gave me to protect you. Luca moves first. Pulls out his phone. Starts making calls. Extraction team. Cleanup crew. The machine that deals with bodies and questions and federal investigations that can't be allowed to connect dots. The other men disappear like ghosts. And then it's just us. Me and Nico in his office with alarms still screaming and 6 men dying in the walls because I chose him over my protocols. You were leaving. He's looking at the resignation letter on my screen. Still open. Still waiting to be sent. You were going to run. I thought I was protecting you. By abandoning me? He takes the tablet from my hands, sets it down, pulls me against him hard enough that I gasp. You just saved my life, using the very thing you thought made you dangerous. Don't you see? You're not the leak, Kelly. You're the dam. You're what holds everything together when the flood comes. I'm shaking. Can't stop. The adrenaline is crashing and taking me with it. I scheduled that maintenance. I gave them access. You stopped them. His arms tighten around me. You saw the pattern. You solved the problem. You did what I've trained you to do. He pulls back just enough to look at me, and you chose me. Even knowing what it cost. Even knowing you'd have blood on your hands. You chose me. I'll always choose you. The words come out broken, true, even when I shouldn't. Even when it means becoming someone I don't recognize. I'll always choose you. He kisses me, desperate, claiming. Like he's trying to erase the resignation letter and the bug in the federal case and every reason I had to run. When he pulls back, his forehead rests against mine. Then stop trying to save me by leaving. Save me by staying. Save me by being exactly who you are. The woman who sees my chaos and turns it into architecture. The alarms finally stop. The silence is somehow louder. In the walls, those men are still trapped, still dying, and I should feel guilty. Should feel horrified. But all I feel is certainty. I didn't just weaponize the hotel, I weaponized myself. And there's no going back from that. The cleanup crew arrives in under 20 minutes. Men in maintenance uniforms who move like soldiers. They cut into the walls with surgical precision. Extract the bodies. Seal the openings like nothing ever happened. I watch from Nico's office windows. Watch them load black bags into service vehicles that have no hotel logos. Watch evidence disappear into the night like it was never real. But the police are coming. Nico's already on the phone coordinating the story. Gas leak in the ventilation system. Emergency evacuation of that wing. Plausible. Clean. Except federal agents don't believe in coincidence. And David's already built a case connecting dots that lead straight to me. The gatekeeper who suddenly started working out of the penthouse. Who has access to every system. Who was there when 6 men died in the walls. I need help. Need someone who understands how to navigate this without everything collapsing. So I go to Ben. Ben Carter. The general manager who's been here longer than anyone. Who taught me everything about hotel operations when I was just an eager assistant fresh out of college. Who became the father figure I never had after mine gambled away any chance of trust. Ben with his wire-rimmed glasses and cardigans, and the way he drinks tea at his desk like we're running a bed and breakfast instead of a fortress. I find him in his office on the 3rd floor. He's awake. Of course he's awake. The alarms woke everyone. He looks up when I enter, concern in his eyes. Kelly, my God, are you all right? I heard the fire suppression system triggered. Was anyone hurt? We had a breach. Nico handled it. But Ben, I need your help. I closed the door behind me. The FBI is building a case. My ex-boyfriend planted surveillance. They have recordings of me discussing things I shouldn't know about. Things that could connect me to Nico in ways that look criminal. I need you to help me figure out how to protect the hotel. How to protect him. Ben is quiet for a long moment. Then he does something I don't expect. He laughs. Not warmly. Not the gentle chuckle I've heard 1,000 times when I obsessed over minor protocol violations. This laugh is cold. Calculated. Oh, Kelly. Sweet, brilliant, predictable Kelly. You really think I didn't know? The temperature in the room drops. Know what? About the surveillance. About David. About the federal case. He stands, walks to his filing cabinet, pulls out a folder, drops it on his desk. I'm the one who gave them access. I'm the one who told them when you'd be vulnerable, when you'd reconnect with an ex-boyfriend because you were lonely and overwhelmed and desperate for something normal. The words don't make sense. Can't make sense. You're lying. I've been documenting your complaints for months. Every time you called, Nico reckless. Every time you questioned his decisions. Every time you noticed irregularities and wanted to fix them. He opens the folder. Pages of transcripts. Recordings. My voice talking about ghost logistics and power usage. Anomalies and unauthorized bookings. All framed to sound like I knew exactly what I was managing. Like I was complicit from the beginning. You're going to prison, Kelly. And I'm going to retire with a very generous payout from some people who want Nico Marcello's empire destroyed from the inside. My legs won't hold me. I grab the edge of his desk. You were my mentor. You taught me everything. I taught you to be useful. And you were. Brilliantly useful. He smiles. It's horrible. You're the perfect accomplice. Smart enough to manage his operations. Naive enough to think you were just following protocols. And now you're in love with him. Which makes you the ideal scapegoat. They'll believe you turned on him. They always believe the woman was manipulated by the dangerous man. The door opens. Nico walks in. His gun is drawn, but he's not pointing it at Ben. He's looking at me. Just me. Kelly, step away from him. Ben doesn't move. Doesn't look scared. The federal agents are already outside. They have warrants. They have evidence. You can shoot me, Marcello, but it won't change what's coming. He looks at me. She's the key to everything, and you trained her too well. She knows where all the bodies are buried, literally. Nico finally looks at Ben. The expression on his face is terrifying. Not rage. Something colder. You're right. She knows everything, which is why she's leaving. He reaches into his jacket. I think he's going for another weapon. Instead, he pulls out a manila envelope, walks past Ben like he doesn't exist, hands it to me. I open it with shaking hands. Plane ticket. Tonight's red-eye to a country with no extradition treaty. A passport with my photo but a different name. Account numbers. Millions in bearer bonds. Everything I need to disappear and never come back. Nico. What? I'm turning myself in. His voice is steady. Resigned. I'll take the fall for Ben's mess. Confess to everything they think you did. You leave. Right now. Get to the airport. Don't look back. Ben is watching us with satisfaction. How noble. The monster saves the girl. Except she's already implicated. Her recordings are already with the FBI. Running makes her look guilty. Then I'll confess to manipulating her. Threatening her family. Forcing her cooperation. Nico cups my face. Forces me to look at him. You get to be the victim, Kelly. The employee who was coerced. The woman who didn't know what she was part of until it was too late. Take the ticket. Take the money. Go live the ordered, safe life you wanted before you met me. Tears are streaming down my face. You're asking me to let you destroy yourself. I'm asking you to survive. His thumb wipes away a tear. I've already lost Sophia and Elena. I won't lose you too. Not like this. Not to federal prison because you loved the wrong man. I look at the ticket. At the passport with someone else's name. At the cash and the accounts and the exit strategy he built for me while I was learning to weaponize his hotel. He's offering me freedom, safety. Everything I thought I wanted when I believed rules could protect me from chaos. Then I look at Ben. At the man who pretended to be my mentor while recording every word I said. At the betrayal that taught me something crucial. Safety is an illusion. Rules are weapons. And the only thing that matters is who you trust when everything falls apart. I tear the ticket in half. Then in half again. Let the pieces fall like snow between us. I'm not going anywhere. Nico's eyes go wide. Kelly, you said I'm the dam, that I hold everything together when the flood comes. I take his face in my hands now. Make him see me. Really see me. Then stop trying to send me away. The flood is already here, and I'm not leaving you to drown in it alone. Ben's smile finally falters. You stupid girl. Do you have any idea what you're choosing? I turn to face him. For the first time since I walked into this office, I'm not scared. I'm angry. I'm choosing the man who built a trauma center to save strangers, who keeps his daughter's nursery perfect, because grief is the only thing he has left of her, who gave me every tool to destroy him and trusted me not to. I step closer to Ben. You taught me protocols. He taught me purpose. And I choose him. Every single time. Sirens in the distance. Getting closer. Time's running out. But I'm done running. Done believing that order means safety and chaos means destruction. Because I've learned the truth. Sometimes love is chaos. Sometimes protection is violence. Sometimes the only way to save what matters is to stop playing by rules that were designed to make you lose. Nico's hand finds mine. Squeezes. Then we fight. Then we fight. I repeat. And when the federal agents finally kick down the doors, they don't find a mob boss and his accomplice. They find something they didn't account for. They find us. The federal agents don't make it past the lobby, because before they can reach Ben's office, the entire hotel goes dark. Emergency lighting kicks in. Red. Pulsing. And then I hear it. Gunfire. Not inside. Outside. In the street. In the loading bay. Surrounding the entire building like a siege. Nico's phone rings. He answers. Listens. His face goes from controlled to lethal in seconds. He hangs up. Konstantin Volkov. He's here. The rival who hired the assassins. He knows they failed. He's finishing the job himself. Ben laughs from behind his desk. Then we're all dead. Volkov doesn't negotiate. He doesn't leave witnesses. He burns everything to the ground. Nico ignores him. Pulls me toward the door. Server room. Now. It's reinforced. You'll be safe there while I handle this. I'm not hiding while you die. Kelly, this isn't... The building shakes. Explosion. Small. Controlled. They're breaching the perimeter. Nico's men are already moving. I hear them in the stairwells. In the corridors. the hotel transforming from sanctuary to battlefield. We run. Not to the server room. To the lobby. Because that's where Volkov is heading. That's where this ends. When we reach the mezzanine overlooking the lobby, I see him, Konstantin Volkov. Older than Nico. Silver hair, expensive suit, surrounded by 20 men with automatic weapons. They've herded the night staff into a corner. Guests who were unlucky enough to be in the lobby are on their knees, and Volkov is standing at the front desk like he owns it, like he's already won. Marcelo! His voice echoes through the marble lobby. Russian accent, thick, dangerous. I know you're here. I know you can hear me. So let's make this simple. Give me the admin password to your security system. Let me delete the footage of my men, and I'll leave. No more bloodshed, no more bodies. Nico's hand tightens on mine. I can feel the decision forming. The calculation. He's going to surrender. Going to trade himself for the hostages. For me, stay here, he whispers. No matter what happens, stay here. Nico, don't. But he's already moving. Walking down the grand staircase like he's arriving at a gala instead of an execution. Every eye in the lobby tracks him. Volkov smiles. It's the smile of a man who knows he's already won. There he is, the keeper of the peace, come to surrender his kingdom. Nico stops at the bottom of the stairs. Let them go. The staff. The guests. This is between us. Everything is between us, Marcello. Your father killed my brother. You think I forgot? You think keeping the peace for 10 years erases that debt? Volkov gestures to one of his men. They drag a laptop to the front desk. The password. Delete the footage. And maybe I let you watch while I burn your hotel down instead of shooting you first. Nico looks up. Finds me in the mezzanine shadows. His eyes say everything. I'm sorry. I love you. Run. Then he turns back to Volkov. The password is Sophia1010. Capital S. No spaces. My heart stops. That's the old password. The one he used before I became gatekeeper. Before I restructured the entire security system. He's giving them a code that doesn't work anymore. But Volkov doesn't know that. His man starts typing, and I realize what Nico's doing. He's buying time. Gambling that I'll see the play and make the next move. No! I scream it before I can stop myself. Run down the stairs. Volkov's men raise their weapons. But Nico holds up a hand. Stops them. Kelly, get back upstairs. You can't give him that password. I meet his eyes. See the message there. Trust me. Play along. So I change direction mid-sentence. It's going to get us both killed. He's going to delete everything and then shoot us anyway. Volkov watches this exchange with amusement. The infamous Kelly Moore. The woman who trapped the 5 families. I've heard about you. He gestures to his man at the laptop. Enter the code. Let's see if Marcelo is a liar or just a fool. The man types. Sophia1010. Hits enter. Nothing happens for 3 seconds. Then the system responds. But not the way Volkov expects. The massive front doors slam shut. Magnetic locks engaging with a sound like thunder. The emergency exits seal. Every window shutters. And the entire lobby becomes a cage. Volkov's smile disappears. What did you do? Nico doesn't answer. He's looking at me. And I understand. He gave them the old password knowing it would trigger the failsafe I installed. Silent panic mode. The system I built that locks down every entrance and exit while sending a silent alert to the police. He didn't surrender. He handed them a trap. I'm already moving. Running to the security station behind the concierge. Sliding into the chair like I've done this 1,000 times. Accessing the master control panel. My fingers fly across the interface. Volkov's men are shouting. Trying to break the doors. But they're reinforced steel designed to withstand earthquakes. They're not getting out. You think you've won? Volkov pulls a gun. Points it at Nico. I can't leave. But neither can you. We all die here together. No. I pull up the environmental controls. You die here. We just watch. I trigger the fire suppression system. Sprinklers explode from the ceiling. Cold water floods the lobby. Then I hit the emergency lighting sequence. Strobes. Disorienting. Pulsing. The lobby becomes chaos. Water and light and confusion. Nico's men materialize from behind pillars. From service corridors. From positions I didn't even know existed. They move through the strobing light like shadows. Disarming. Subduing. Taking down Volkov's men with the kind of precision that comes from training I don't want to think about. Gunfire. Brief. controlled, then silence except for the sprinklers and the groaning of men on marble floors. Volkov is on his knees, disarmed, surrounded. He's staring at Nico with something like respect. "You played me." "No." Nico walks to the front desk. "To me. She played you. I just gave her the opening." He looks at me, water streaming down both our faces. "I knew you'd change the password. Knew you'd see what I was doing. Knew you'd turn my surrender into their cage." Police sirens, right outside. The cavalry finally arriving. Nico's men fade back into the shadows, disappearing like they were never there. The doors unseal. Federal agents flood in. They see Volkov, see his men, see the weapons. They don't see the full story. Don't see how we turned the lobby into a trap. They just see attempted robbery, attempted terrorism. They arrest everyone except us. And Ben. They find him trying to escape through the service entrance. Kelly's phone records led them straight to him. The recordings he thought would frame me actually documented his betrayal. His conversations with Volkov, his payment schedules. Everything he did to destroy us became the evidence that destroyed him. Hours later, after statements and questions and lawyers I didn't know existed, I find myself in the server room, sitting on the floor, still soaking wet, still processing that we survived, that we won, that the man I loved didn't die surrendering to save me. He lived because we fought together. The door opens. Nico walks in. He's wet too, shirt clinging to him, hair dripping. He sits beside me on the concrete floor. Doesn't speak, just exists in the same space. Finally, he reaches into his pocket, pulls out something on a chain, the master key, the one that opens every door in the hotel, the one that represents complete access, complete trust. He puts it around my neck. The metal is warm from being against his skin. "You are the only one allowed in, Kelly. Permanently." I touch the key, feel the weight of what it means. "You're giving me complete access. I'm giving you everything." He cups my face. "You didn't just save the hotel. You saved me. You turned my surrender into their trap. You weaponized my own system against them. You became exactly what I needed, what I always needed. Someone who sees the chaos and builds architecture around it." I kiss him, desperate, grateful, claiming. He pulls me into his lap, holds me like I'm something precious that he's terrified of losing again. When we finally break apart, we're both breathless, both realizing that this is the beginning, not the end. Later, we stand on the penthouse balcony. The city is waking up, dawn breaking through storm clouds. The hotel below us is already being cleaned. Evidence erased. Normal operations resuming like last night was just another Tuesday. Nico's arm is around my waist. I'm wearing his jacket over my wet clothes. The master key hangs between us. "You wanted order, Kelly." His voice is quiet, reflective. "You wanted to fix the chaos. You thought following protocols would keep you safe." He turns me to face him. "You didn't fix anything. You just became the queen of it." I smile. Queen of chaos. That's a terrible job description. It's the only job that matters. He kisses my forehead. "Welcome to the dynasty, Kelly Moore." And standing there, watching the sun rise over a city that doesn't know how close it came to war, wearing his jacket and his key and his complete trust, I realized something. I spent my whole life building walls between chaos and order, creating systems to keep the messy world at bay, but Nico taught me the truth. Order and chaos aren't enemies, they're partners. And I'm not the director of brand standards anymore. I'm not even the gatekeeper. I'm the woman who stands beside the keeper of the peace and helps him hold the empire together. I'm the architect of his chaos, the order in his storm. I'm his. And he's mine. Permanently. If Kelly and Nico's story kept you on the edge of your seat, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a release. Don't forget to share this with a friend who needs a protective obsession like Nico in their life. And tell me in the comments, would you have frozen the elevators to save the hotel, or would you have run? Let me know below.